Endocarditis. Endocarditis is an inflammation of the endocardium, the membrane lining the chambers of the heart and covering cusps of the heart valves. Infective endocarditis is an uncommon infection, usually occurring in persons with pre-existing cardiac valvular abnormalities, for example prosthetic heart valves, or with other specific risk factors like intravenous drug abuse. This picture represents where bacteria and other blood particles start depositing in a heart valve, causing the obstruction in the blood flow and causing the symptoms of endocarditis. Three groups of microorganisms cause a majority of infective endocarditis cases: Streptococci, Staphylococci, and Enterococci. Bacteria primarily cause endocarditis, but fungi and other atypical microorganisms can lead to the disease. Hence, the more encompassing term infective endocarditis is preferred. The risk factors of endocarditis include presence of prosthetic valve, that is presence of artificial valve, previous endocarditis, complex cyanotic congenital heart disease, surgically constructed systemic pulmonary shunts or conduits, acquired valvular dysfunction, for example rheumatoid heart disease, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, mitral valve prolapse with regurgitation, and the last one is IVDA, that is intravenous drug abuse. Etiologic organisms in infective endocarditis include the Streptococci, which is having a highest percent of cases, that is 60 to 80%, followed by mixed type of infection, which is having a 1 to 2% of cases. The pathophysiology of endocarditis include: just start with the endothelial injury, fibrin platelet vegetation with bacteremia causing the adherence of microorganisms to the endocardium and valve surface, causing the growth of a bacteria and the multiplication, then leads to the fibrin thrombosis and calcification, which disturb the wall, and embolization, causing the symptoms which is depends upon the infecting the wall, causing the heart failure. The clinical presentation of infective endocarditis include: in general, the clinical presentation of infective endocarditis is highly variable and non-specific. The symptoms include: the patient may complain of fever, chills, weakness, dyspnea, night sweats, weight loss, and malaise. The signs: fever is common, as is a heart murmur, sometimes new or changing. The patient may or may not have embolic phenomena, splenomegaly, or skin manifestations like Olsen nodes and Janeway lesions. The laboratory test: the patient's white blood cell count may be normal or only slightly elevated. Non-specific findings include anemia, that is normocytic or normochromic, thrombocytopenia, an elevated erythrocyte sedimentation rate or C-reactive protein, and alter urinary analysis, that is proteinuria or microscopic hematuria. The hallmark laboratory findings is continuous bacteremia. 3 sets of blood cultures should be collected over 24 hours. The other diagnostic tests for endocarditis include an electrocardiogram, chest radiograph, and echocardiogram are commonly performed. Echocardiography to determine the presence of valvular vegetations play a key role in the diagnosis of infective endocarditis. It should be performed in all suspected cases. The treatment. The first we go with the treatment goals. Antimicrobials used in the treatment of endocarditis should always be bactericidal. Antimicrobials must be given in a high doses to penetrate the valvular vegetation at the site of infection. Therapy must be prolonged, that is for at least for 6 weeks, to achieve complete sterilization. Combination therapy is sometimes required for adequate bactericidal activity. Adequate monitoring for toxicity of antimicrobials and complications of endocarditis is necessary. Surgery may be indicated to cure infection or restore cardiac function. Mortality may occur as a result of severe hemodynamic compromise or from complications arising from embolic phenomena. Recurrent episodes can be prevented by giving prophylactic antibiotics before procedures that result in transient bacteremic episodes. Antimicrobial therapy for native and prosthetic wall endocarditis. So this contains the presence of organism with their particular regimens with dose, route and duration of therapy. The first one is Streptococci NV, that is Streptococci native wall. The preferred regimen is penicillin G, which is used as a first line therapy, followed by vancomycin. Ceftriaxone, penicillin G with gentamicin, ceftriaxone with gentamicin are also used as an alternative. Penicillin G is given for 12 to 18 million units per day IV for 4 weeks. So this is the most first line therapy to treat the Streptococci native wall endocarditis, followed by ceftriaxone and a combination with the gentamicin with penicillin and vancomycin also preferred. Next one is Streptococci NV. The preferred regimen is penicillin G with gentamicin and as an alternative vancomycin. The dose of penicillin G with gentamicin include 1 mg per kg for 8 tarli IV and the gentamicin is 15 mg per kg for 12 tarli. Given for penicillin given for 2 weeks, gentamicin is given for 4 weeks. The vancomycin dose is 18 to 30 million units per day, given for 4 to 6 weeks of duration. The next one is Streptococci NV. The preferred regimen is penicillin G plus gentamicin. The alternative regimens include ampicillin plus gentamicin and vancomycin. The doses are as similar to the previous one and the duration also same of 4 to 6 weeks. The next one is Streptococci PV, that is prosthetic wall. The preferred regimen is penicillin G with gentamicin with a dose of 12 to 18 million units per day IV for 6 weeks. So, gentamicin 1 mg per kg 8 tarli IV for 2 weeks. If it is given for more than 2 weeks, the doses should be adjusted, that is 18 to 30 million units per day for 4 to 6 weeks. The next organism is Enterococci native wall. The preferred regimen for this kind of organism is penicillin G with gentamicin, followed by ampicillin and gentamicin and vancomycin and gentamicin. The duration course is as similar to before, that is 4 to 6 weeks. And the next one is Enterococci prosthetic wall. The preferred first regimen is penicillin G with gentamicin and the alternative regimens are same as native wall, that is ampicillin plus gentamicin and vancomycin and gentamicin. The next one is Staphylococci native wall methicillin susceptible. The commonly used therapy or a regimen for this kind of organism is neficillin or oxacillin with or without gentamicin. The preferred dose is 1 mg per kg 8 tarli IV. It's given for 3 to 5 days. The dose of gentamicin is 2 gram IV 8 tarli for 4 to 6 weeks. The alternative regimen for this kind of organism includes cefazolin with gentamicin or oxacillin with gentamicin, vancomycin with gentamicin. The next organism is Staphylococci prosthetic wall methicillin susceptible. Neficillin or oxacillin plus gentamicin with rifampicin is preferred as a regimen to treat this kind of organism, and the most commonly duration is more than 6 weeks. The next one is Staphylococci NV methicillin resistant. Here vancomycin along with gentamicin is preferred. The duration might be 4 to 6 weeks or 3 to 5 days based on the dosage and route. The next one is Staphylococci prosthetic wall methicillin resistance. Here the vancomycin with gentamicin plus rifampicin is used. The vancomycin dose is 15 mg per kg 12 hourly more than 6 weeks. Gentamicin, the dose is 1 mg per kg 8 hourly IV for 2 weeks. Rifampicin 300 mg per oral 8 hourly more than 6 weeks. The next organism is HACEK. It contains all the mixed type of organisms. The preferred first dose is ceftriaxone. First drug is ceftriaxone. The dose of ceftriaxone is 2 gram. It's given in IV or oral route for 4 weeks. The alternative regimen for this organism include ampicillin with gentamicin. The dose is ampicillin of dose 2 gram IV 4th hourly. Gentamicin is given for 1 mg per kg 8th hourly for 4 weeks. The prevention of endocarditis include antimicrobial prophylaxis is used as an attempt to prevent infective endocarditis in patients who are at highest risk. The use of antimicrobials for this purpose requires the consideration of cardiac conditions associated with endocarditis, procedures causing bacteremia, organisms likely to cause endocarditis, and the last one is pharmacokinetics, spectrum, cost, adverse effects, and ease of administration of available antimicrobial agents. The objective of prophylaxis is to diminish the likelihood of infective endocarditis in high-risk individuals from the procedures that result in bacteremia. The clinical controversy. The common practice of administering antibiotics to high-risk individuals before a bacteremia causing procedure is controversial. Despite limited data supporting this approach and the fact that 100% compliance with AHA preventive guidelines would have only a modest benefit, the use of single-dose antibiotics for the prevention of endocarditis remains a standard care. The key points of endocarditis include infective endocarditis is potentially life-threatening infection that requires early recognition and aggressive and prolonged treatment for successful management. High-dose antimicrobial therapy is needed as infective endocarditis is difficult to treat because of an absence of host defenses, poor penetration of antibiotics into the vegetation, high organism burden, and reduced metabolic state of organisms at the site of infection. Combination therapy is required for the treatment of infective endocarditis due to Pseudomonas aeruginosa, enterococci, or tolerant organisms. Combination therapy may also be used to shorten the duration of therapy for susceptible organisms like S. aureus or streptococci, as long as penicillin is part of the regimen. Infections due to pathogens that are resistant to multiple drugs such as enterococci are increasing in prevalence, and combinations of antibiotics are frequently used to achieve synergistic bactericidal effects. Surgical removal of the infected valve is often necessary in patients with following characteristics: severe hemodynamic compromise, intracardiac abscesses, gram-negative, fungal or other non-bacterial etiology, infection due to resistant organisms, PVE, relapse after adequate therapy, multiple embolic events. Newer antimicrobials such as quinapristine, dalpropristine, linezolid, lipopeptides, glycyclines, and fluoroquinolones may have a role in the treatment of infective endocarditis. A minimum of 6 weeks of therapy is required for successful treatment of PVE, and replacement of the infected prosthesis may be necessary. Prevention of infection is best achieved by recognition of patients at risk, identification of clinical situations likely to produce bacteremia, and the use of recommended prophylactic regimens. Thank you.